quite a rivals. Have dunked on each other with lots of memes. We were invited to Black Manta, the Manta Cup before. There were some maybe darker past in between our two squads, as maybe some of the banter was not as friendly. But all through the times in Gucci have never lost a game in an official game against Black Manta. And while this squad is definitely much different than the squad that originally faced Black Manta from Gucci, it's still a Gucci squad. It still holds our name high, and it's still undefeated in this tournament going into this matchup. Maybe things will change. We definitely hope that it won't. Black Manta against Gucci, another chapter in our long storied book.
Yes, indeed. As well, Karma Hecarim locked in. Because it seems like Black Manta, times have changed, but not everything changes, as they will operate in a similar fashion to they always have. Karma Hecarim, such a familiar look for the BLM squad. This
Absolutely.
is going into the hands of Elrat, potentially, maybe, I don't know if they flex Hecarim to top lane, but I'm assuming maybe we'll take that. We do have the Ivan lock-in for Yasa on the side of Gucci, and we'll see what they respond with as Rebreathe gets his hands on his signature Syndra. But it's a tough ask, as he is up against the formidable Denza this time around.
Absolutely. Rebreathe getting his... I would say Rebreathe is a great player on many champions, but his Syndra is something to be feared, and we will see it being operated right here. I would have to say she does not have that good of a matchup into the Hecarim, as Hecarim can gank the Syndra quite easily, avoid her E with his ultimate, and maybe he's a very well-known Hecarim player. And yep, as much things change, they remain the same. Karma, Seraphine, bot line for Black Manta. That's as Black Manta as it gets.
Yeah, I feel like Black Manta, they're hitting the rewind button up against Gucci. This is a pick that, even our strongest roster in Gucci history that we fielded, even we did not want to deal with this situation. We perma-banned this in official games against BLM. And there's a reason for that. And unfortunately for Gucci, it is now in their hands. It's on the hands of a different player, as they have an upgraded AD carry. Quischi, or as people know, is on the side of E-Wolves, and this will go for Reaper, their new ADC, and I don't want to say big improvement, but it's definitely an upgrade to their look. As the second round of bans start coming through, Ilaoi taken off the board. I don't think we need to describe too much about the reasoning for that one. We all know what Linus is capable of on that champion, as his Garen is also taken off the board. On the other side, BLM, they target Jesse in the support bans. So what can we expect coming out of the second phase of the draft?
We will so far we have seen Gucci make great adaptations in the second phase of the draft, pulling out the champions that are the difference makers, and we see a Pantheon being locked in. That's definitely a new pick for Black Manta.
Yeah, brand new pick coming out from BLM, and I really like this. Not only can you flex this wherever you want, the entire BLM draft right now, you can basically put champions into lanes depending on how the enemy team drafts. Seraphine can go mid support, Pantheon can go mid, top, and support, even jungle. The Hecarim can go jungle top, Karma can go mid support. So there's a lot of flexibility here, and what I assume they've done is they've allowed a counter pick, and they can decide wherever this counter pick is going to go, because Pantheon into Syndra, great matchup. You literally block Syndra with your E. If Pantheon goes into Gwen, that's a tricky one. Because I do believe Gwen does win that out. And so you can send this Pantheon into mid, you can send the Seraphine into bot, and you can counterpick 4 liners here in the top lane. So great flexibility coming out from BLM, and I really like what they've done here.
Not sure how many good picks into the Gwen actually Linus has. He's gonna go for the Colette. It's really a classic Linus champion, and I think he definitely knows how to operate it quite well. But it's very curious to see how will it play out.
Yeah, a fantastic Kled player in his own right. Unfortunately, I don't think his Kled has much success against Gucci in general. So,
well,
yeah.
Yeah, none of the champions have a lot of success against Gucci in official games, so I have to
No,
say that.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's a chance for BLM to turn the tide, and you know, this is such an interesting story because Black Manta, they have always, I mean, not always, they've never taken a game of Gucci in any competitive history. They are the home. This is their home turf. This is the Manta Cup. They are Black Manta. They're the home crowd favorites. And this is, I've said this, and it was mentioned on the podcast. I think it was by Gloomy. As far as Gucci rosters go, this does definitely not. Okay, I don't want to say definitely, but this doesn't sit amongst the strongest that we've put together roster wise. And so, if there is a time for Black Manta to finally, conquer their demons of the past and finally get a win over Gucci, now is the time.
But it's still a strong squad, and it's still definitely a squad respectable enough to hold the Gucci name. And if Black Manta can defeat these guys, that definitely counts as a legitimate win against the Gucci organization, and we have our full confidence behind these guys. That being said, this as maybe it's not rated as the highest of Gucci squads, but winning Manta Cup would definitely put them up there as one of the legendary Gucci rosters, and we definitely wish them to do that. Meanwhile, this is the story for this Black Manta. It's their fifth Manta Cup and fourth Manta Cup, I believe. They are a team with a lot of history. They have played together for I think it is 3 or 4 years, and this right now it's looking to be their last tournament together. This is the OG squad. Actually, Reaper, the AD carry, I wanted to say, he's not a new player. He's a player that is previously known as Ripper, and he was an AD carry that started off in SLE for the Black Manta squad, known for his champions like his Twitch and stuff. This is a new kind of a new squad in a way that it's without Quishy, without a player that always played with them, they have prepared themselves maybe the strongest individual squad they could have ever had, and what the story would be to take down Gucci in their last tournament and to potentially win it all.
Yeah, potentially win it all. I'm not sure if what do you call it? I was always saying this. I'm not sure if the switch of Reaper to Quishy was always the one that they did in the SLE split that they reached finals. I wasn't always sure if that was the right move because I did feel that Reaper was a strong player and he seems to have gone off. He took that benching personally. He went and improved so much, and he's gonna come back here in a form that he has never been able to reach before, and he is performing super well. If anyone has checked out any of the show matches, he's such a strong player. They recently just took down Beast Esports, which is everyone's pick to win this entire tournament, and BLM has just shut that down. So I'm so interested to see how this one really pans out here. But because for as always, we're going to stay impartial. Based on draft alone, who is winning this game?
Man, I still have those games in my nightmares where I faced off against Black Manta Seraphy and Black Manta Karma. With champions that also really benefit from the movement speed boosts that they have drafted themselves with the Kled, Hecarim. I think Black Manta have drafted themselves one of those classic deathball team comps that just groups up and is absolutely unkillable and impossible to deal with. Gucci have drafted themselves a strong team as well. Some engage, some counter engage. Definitely a team comp much harder to play than the Black Manta's team comp. And based off the draft and knowing these players, I think Black Manta have done a lot in this draft. And if there's a game, then they can win against Gucci. It's this game, I believe.
Yeah, I will agree to you to some extent, but not the full extent, because if we're taking draft alone, yes, the draft on BLM, it suits their playstyle and it suits their players to a T. But take a look at the lack of pure AD DPS. There's burst coming out from there's burst coming out from Pantheon, and there's a decent amount of AD coming out from Kled. If Linus runs the build that I know he likes to run, which is the Heartsteel Kled, there's going to be a massive lack of damage, attack damage specifically from their team comp. Whereas if you look on the other side, yes, you have double AP plus Ivan, but you also have a Xayah who's going to be able to pump out some decent DPS. And on the other side, it's almost like, you know, against an Ivan as well, if the Hecarim doesn't get far enough ahead, there's not enough AD attack damage to deal with the shielding and defensiveness of this Gucci draft. Like, they just run a few Mercury Treads and they build up some tenacity, some magic resist, and it's going to be a tricky situation for BLM. I think the case for them is they definitely need to get the ball rolling on this Hecarim. If there's kills on Hecarim and Pantheon, which, by the way, are more than capable enough mid-jungle duo to be able to get ahead in the early game, but they need to be able to do that, otherwise they're going to lack significant amounts of attack damage in the mid to late game fights.
Absolutely. I believe that Linus cannot afford to go for the Heartsteel Kled, that he was one of pioneers for this build. I think he definitely needs to go for a more damage-heavy build in this game, and I think a player that sometimes gets kind of not mentioned enough is maybe the jungler for Black Manta. One of I think one of the best junglers in SLA history. And right here, we know the Hecarim's passive, I believe, is that he deals more damage the more movement speed he has, and with the movement speed boosts of Kled, the movement speed boost of Karma, with the movement speed boost of Seraphine, I believe as well, I think it can be an absolute superstar showdown for BLM maybe here, and and he has selected a beautiful skin to do so.
Yeah, selected a beautiful skin indeed. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. But yes, honestly, Mikus, I've never been more excited for the BLM game in my life, because I feel like for us, whenever we played against BLM, you know, admittedly, we were quite a cocky roster. We were always confident. We were never really scared about our opponents that we played against. But for this particular Gucci roster, they know the stakes of this game. They know what it means to take a win against Black Manta as a player of Gucci. But I don't think what they understand is, you know, the importance of going into this with confidence. As a Gucci player, I mean, as a former Gucci player yourself, and you know, myself too, I think one of our strengths was it didn't matter when we played against our rivals, regardless of how strong they were. We were just like, I think we'll beat them anyway kind of mentality. It was like, it doesn't matter, we can make 10 mistakes, we'll beat them anyway because we're just better. Like, you know, that level of, I don't want to say arrogance, but confidence in ourselves. But with this Gucci team, they might, you know, they were recently formed. They might not have fully adopted that like confident ideology that, you know, a lot of our successful teams have always had, and there's always that pressure right now. You know, it's similar to Gucci Yin in the what do you call it, in the SLE, where it's like we just never lose to Vitagen, so don't lose to and then they get 2-0'd. It's a similar story. It's like we've never lost to BLM, but you know, that could happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a key thing in games against the BLM, was to kind of sometimes just kind of skill check them, confidence check them, and it's something that gave us a lot of advantages back when we played them. And this is something that BLM, this squad can definitely work around with. That being said, in this early game, I think BLM has a lot of tools to make a lot of things happen here.
Yeah, definitely. As Lost Moderator hits level 2 first and dashes forward aggressively onto Linus. Saw Lost Moderator earlier. I can play so well on the Ornn this time. Very different champion. You know, you talked about weak side Lost Moderator. Talk to me about this time on the Gwen.
Yeah, absolutely. Lost Moderator, known really in SNC for his weak side champions, and he popped off on the Ornn in the game 1 of the tournament, and this time also on a champion that he's quite well known for, maybe not necessarily the role that he plays, but the champion, he's a very, very good Gwen player. I've seen him perform it quite well in the scrims, and if there's a great Gwen player, it can absolutely carry huge games on this pick.
Oh, yeah, already knocking Linus off his horse 3 minutes into the game. 2 minutes into the lane. As Linus from getting knocked out. Rebreathe scats at the weak onto Denza. Would just be a trade of damage now. So you can see the solo lanes of Gucci winning on HP but losing on farm. So that is there for BLM. So yeah.
Yeah, Lost Morderetto, we have seen him outplay these ganks.
Yeah, and
but,
he is getting ganked here. Maybe going to arrive into top lane. This is another BLM special. Play for Linus is the call. As first blood into the hands of Maybe. We said important to get Hecarim ahead. 3 minutes into the game. Kill already in his hands. Great start for BLM.
Yeah, BLM often tries to feed these kills to Linus, but in this game specifically, I think kills in the hands of Hecarim are so much more useful right now. And great start for the game for Maybe.
Yeah, great start of the game. Want to also mention, I feel like in Gucci we always have like our mascots, champions that we always pick. I feel like in the recent SLE split, Ivan randomly became our mascot as Jesse is going to go for an engage onto Elrat, knocks up the Karma, which is such a defensive bot lane, hard to find an angle, but yeah, going back to my point, I feel like Ivan recently has become a secret mascot of Chi, like Revilo, Obsidian, and JL all played it in the recent SLE split, and it looks like Yasa will take it in this one.
And Yasa, also known as 3 Angry Inches, absolutely a huge Ivan player. I think it was one of his best champions in the Rebel Link squad, and he will find himself a Maybe in the jungle.
Yeah, Maybe with first blood already.
It's a lot of follow-up.
He is ahead of Yasa here. Yasa trying to find... Oh my god, that's a flash into the pit, and a kill into the hands of Denza. And BLM get 2 kills on the board. Gucci struggling in the early parts of this game. It looks like Black Manta. They will pull themselves ahead. Off the back of plays from Maybe. Great start from them.
Yeah, so far so good. The champion that we talked about that has the potential to carry this game is getting quite fed already. Meanwhile, Rebreathe here in this mid lane playing against a Pantheon in a very difficult matchup has performed quite well so far. And after clearing these minions, I think he will have a gold lead here.
Yeah, small lead for Rebreathe here, which is really great considering he hasn't
gotten beautiful.
Yeah, well, amazing farming on the tower. Yeah, I don't know if he has a gold lead because I mean, according to my screen, Denza has got.
He has a kill.
He did get a kill, but Rebreathe yet to recall, so we'll see what he is able to purchase. Usually in these mage to assassin matchups, you want to farm for Lost Chapter, recall, and then get that for the lane. But we shall see. Good start for BLM so far, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Denzer here with blue buff can do so much in this matchup right now. It's very annoying for Rebreathe to face, and he will be forced to recall right there.
Yeah, forced to recall indeed. And already seeing some potential action happen in the top lane. Both junglers arriving there. Rebreathe does not want to give up this wave, but Denza has flash. This could be a straight up solo kill. We'll have to see as Denza wants to make sure Rebreathe is denied that farm. Basketball gonna land from Yasa. This is Rebel Links up against BLM technically, as a Lost Moderetto will trade the kill back onto Linus. Maybe now in the face of 2 members of Good Chi, and snip. Lost Moderetto gets the double kill on the Gwen. We talked about his weak side, but now introduce yourself to your strong side as Josiah now will land a knock up onto Elrat. Root coming in from Algren. It will just be the back away. Rebreathe has teleported back into the mid lane with full HP and an item completed. Denza now being brought to low HP. Let's see if Rebreathe can land a key ability here. Gets another spear to the face, so we'll just back off for now. The 2 kills now traded back in the gold lead. All of a sudden shifts all the way to the side of Good Chi.
Yeah, it more likely evens out all the good things that Black Manta did in the early game, kind of neglected here by that top lane play, and beautiful play by Rival Links is the top side.
Little shout out to the boys, they're allies of Cheese, so we've got to give them their props. We love Rival Links. Yeah.
Yeah, and we see here in the mid lane as well, Rebreathe being so poked out. Pantheon after this recall, picking up the Hexdrinker, and making the matchup so much more difficult for this Syndra here. And but I have to say, good patience by Syndra, and that's a big ganking from maybe.
Oh, big gank, but a beautiful flash from Algren is going to get him to safety. Maybe might have bitten off too much, as there is a Pantheon ultimate available, but a great time flash. Move speed from the E is going to finish off 1 kill. Jesse is going to be the first one to fall. Yasa has now arrived to try and defend Algren, making sure that he can try and pick up this wave, but with 4 members strong in the bot lane, they will get themselves a kill. Oh, actually, Balen members are quite low as another 1v1 is going to break out in the top lane. Linus is going to combo up Lost Midoretto. The Hallowed Mace is going to drop down. Lost Midoretto doesn't have ultimate available, so this is going to be a close fight as Linus does win out on the HP advantage. So, big win for the Black Manta top laner because, well, on my screen, he's so far behind in CS. I think any form of positive trade is good for him, but the needlework is now activated. Linus dodging away from it for now. Lost Midoretto doesn't quite land any of them, and now this might be the angle for Linus to go back in. Does have boots of speed available for him, so he is faster than the Gwen, and he gets himself back on the horse. Lost Midoretto dodges away, and the ultimate there shut down in the hands of Linus, and that's the top lane cleared that Black Manta values so much as he gets the solo kill onto Lost Midoretto.
Little bit of an overstep by Lost Midoretto, and beautifully played there by Linus, dodging all of the Gwen's ultimates and then turning it around with the Ignite, getting the shutdown and evening up the top lane matchup.
Yeah, this is a disaster here for Good Chi because look at the gold lead. Not that long ago, maybe 2-3 minutes ago, it was in their hands, and now it's just shifted completely to the other side. And Black Manta, they get a kill in top, they get a kill in bot, and they get themselves a dragon. So all across the map, advantages for them.
Yeah, and I believe that Black Manta's solo lanes definitely need to force the issue. They need to make the plays happen, and so they have done it. Linus clutches out the 1v1. Meanwhile, good roaming and good kill securing here by Denzer as well on this Pantheon. And so far, so good for Black Manta, but we have seen Black Manta rosters having good early games against good Chi teams many times, even in the last SLE split where they faced against Gucci Yin in the playoffs, but it was not enough to secure them any victories, and they will wish to turn that tide around this time.
Yeah, and I think a really important thing here is that Denzer 2-0 got himself really far ahead in the early game, but has decided to just instantly rush the Maw. Usually when you're buying this item, you go Hex Drinker, and then you complete some other items before you complete the Maw, mainly just because Hex Drinker to Maw, there isn't an increase that much of damage or shielding, so he is going to complete that. What do you think, Mikus?
Well, I can't say that I love it, but I can't necessarily say that I hate it as well, because the only AD damage threat is
actually, Lost Midoretto gonna force the ultimate there as he sees maybe potentially arriving, and I think he might know that this horse will stay around, but yeah, continue your point.
The only AD threat is the Xayah, so this Hex Drinker will have a lot of value here, and we see he's also rushing Merc threads here on this Pantheon, so in a way I like it if he will be able to avoid being damaged down by the Xayah on the woodlands.
Encore gonna drop onto Yasa. It's a one-man route for now, as Denzer now has used the ultimate, but he's gonna get roots up by the basketball. And we talked about how difficult it is to kill these Good Chi members with an Ivan there, as they barely lost HP. As Daisy is gonna try and do what he can. Maybe has now arrived to the scene.
Maybe he's here. He has ultimate.
It does seem like Yasa has information, because there is an Ivan bush in that bush, so if you step into that, Ivan can see you. Great champion knowledge there from Yasa, as Daisy is just going to chase the mid jungle. Keep your eyes on Rebreathe.
Is going for the play.
Rebreathe is looking for a flank. Can he land a scatter the week? He finds a catch onto maybe, and it's going to be the unleashed power, maybe brought to low HP. He is one health away, but Elrad with the shielding prowess is going to keep his jungler alive. Rebreathe almost finding a catch, and you can see the danger that lives within this Syndra. He is a master of his champion, but the shielding ability from this Black Manta draft is going to keep their members healthy and alive for now. But Summoner's War is blown, so it is a tiny victory for Good Chi.
Yeah, I have to say it was huge. Black Manta has to be feeling so lucky that they get out of there without losing a lot of people. But I have to say, with the turret mid lane and with some farm differences, Gucci is taking over the gold lead yet again.
Yeah, and I said at the end of the post game in the Gucci match earlier, thing about Rebreathe is you might not think he's a problem, but as you continuously ignore him, take a look at the CS lead he's built up, and the turret is just gone in a counter matchup as well. So, you know, and funnily enough, this is quite similar to what Denzer did against us in the SLE finals, where he was just roaming around getting kills, but then the lane is just on fire. He comes back to lane, and his opponent's just like miles ahead of him. And it looks like a similar situation here as Rebreathe. Despite not being 2 kills, as Denzer is, you can see 2-0 Pantheon, no shutdown, and that's probably because Rebreathe has got a turret and a massive farm lead.
I have to also acknowledge the fact that I think the fact that the not banning of Rebreathe's Syndra is pretty disrespectful move here by Black Manta. I think it's one of, if not the best, like kind of a champion that Gucci can pick, because like he's a true specialist. He's like I would say like all of the Gucci mid laners usually have like one pick that they can always play. For you, it's Azir, of course. Rebreathe's Syndra maybe not on that level, but still a very, very good champion for him. And right now he's performing very well onto it, almost 10 CS per minute, getting the mid lane turret, avoiding any deaths or ill-advised trades in this Pantheon matchup, and so far so good for the Bulgarian superstar.
Yeah, so far so good, and we have to talk briefly about the lanes, because, well, maybe trying to look for a gank onto Algren, but he knows that the Ivan is there. Linus starting to make a move towards the bot side. Denzer trying to one versus one lost Muderetto, and I mean, that's a Gwen. Not sure if this is the best take for you, Denzer. He does have more of Mortius, tanking out some turret shots, so Denzer will be safe for now. Elrat walking into a bush, scatter the weak onto the support of Black Manta. Yes, is going to secure that kill. Gucci taking off a member of BLM means that the dragon will open up for them. It does get started. Linus and maybe both have ultimates. Reaper use the encore, so Seraphine ultimate is in there. Scatter the weak once again. We talked about how important Rebreathe is on the Syndra. He's going to land another stun to catch off a member of BLM. Gucci now, gold lead starting to grow. They didn't catch Lost Muderetto on the side either, so they turn the fight and they get themselves a dragon.
Yeah, Dragon and the gold lead, and I cannot believe actually this turned out the way it did. Black Manta had so many tools there to kind of challenge Gucci, but Gucci getting the turret, getting the dragon, I mean, and even 2 picks off there. I was looking at the summoner spells before that fight. Denzer had his teleport and he was in top lane. Meanwhile, Lost Muderetto did not. I thought that we will see a TP flank or some little bit of patience by Black Manta, but uncharacteristic to this team, they lose this team fight.
Yeah, they lose the fight, and well, despite it not meaning, you know, doom for Black Manta to lose that fight out, it does mean that the gold lead grows even further for Gucci. And I think before it was looking fine because of the kill score, but take a look at the farm numbers on basically everywhere. I think there's not a single lane for BLM that are massively ahead on CS. Bot lane is the one outlier there. But, you know, even the Ivan is ahead of the clear to a Hecarim. You know, we talk about how sometimes jungle matchups shouldn't look like this, but in this game it does. So, yeah, interesting situation for BLM to be in right now.
Yeah, a little bit ahead, but we all know that these types of comps really come online when they get together, and yeah, Rebreathe just forcing flashes, forcing so much all over the place. Rebreathe on the Syndra, but they are setting up a top lane play or a herald play, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they do have the herald started up. I do believe Lost Muderetto looks like he knows that this is happening, but Linus is channeling a teleport into the bot lane, so I'm not sure if this is the best decision to be making here, because it does mean that the rest of the map is just being left by themselves. The rest of Gucci are just going to collapse. They don't even get the kills in the bot lane. Jesse gets a knock up and sends Linus to the disaster for BLM, as Linus is forced to flash away. Reaper being brought down to low HP. So Gucci, they actually win on all sides of the map. They get themselves the herald, and with Linus abandoning the play, going for that teleport in the bot lane, it does mean Gucci, they didn't even die in the bot lane. They only used summoner spells and ultimates, and they got the kills in the top side as well.
Yeah, it's a huge another win for Gucci. Maybe Black Manta here getting too excited, and oh, Jesse playing with fire, but he's in control of it. A bit of a fire mage there, but yeah, we see Black Manta potentially their last chance to face off against Gucci in their team history, not being able to win against them in any games so far, in any tournament games, and maybe just forcing a bit too much so far. Linus really trigger happy with the TP, not turning out the way he expected, and Gucci is so far looking very good in this game.
Yeah, looking very good indeed. Linus gonna catch Los Modoretto recalling, so interrupting the Gwen there is good for him. But the most important thing to note is the Kled does not have teleport, so when the dragon spawns... actually, I just realized I don't have dragon times. Hold on a sec, boys. No. Yeah. With the dragon spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'm not sure if Linus will have that teleport available, which means Los Modoretto had a massive advantage here. He can continuously pressure this top lane whilst having the threat of the teleport. So, scary situation here for BLM as, yeah, currently, map isn't... Gucci is ahead, but they're not ahead by that much. So, BLM not exactly out of this game just yet.
Yeah, and even with the TP advantage, actually, Los Modoretto here really wanting to fight it in 1v1. I think he's right now in dominant position, and maybe he's coming in here for a gank.
Yeah, coming in for a gank, but with the Hallowed Mist, maybe he's going to fight this one alone. Yasa slowly shadowing Los Modoretto, his Revel Lake's partner, and Los Modoretto seems to be fine. He hasn't even gone off with the reset. You can see maybe knows that now is the time that he needs to recall because this dragon is spawning very soon. Mid lane priority already secured. It's going to be a massive fight, Mikis, for this dragon.
Yeah, it can be so huge. It will be so dynamic. Both teams are really set up for a huge team fight. All of the players, all the carries having their first main items. So yeah, I believe that we are set up for an explosive battle. Key thing is that Gucci's bot lane does not have some of their key summoner spells, but by the time teams will group up for the dragon fight, they just might have them back.
Seraphine has just reset, so it does seem like BLM are just going to gift this for now. You can see pings onto turrets. They didn't quite have the wave states. So, as much as I said that this is going to be a massive dragon, apparently not, as it would just be handshaking for free. BLM instead opt to go for a push into the mid-wave.
Yeah, and I have to say that I don't necessarily agree with this decision. I think Xayah will get so much more stronger later on in the game, but Los Modoretto might be in trouble.
Yeah, their decision is to play for the Gwen, and Denza being brought to low HP. He's actually going to trade 1-for-1 in the 1 versus 4. Disaster strikes for BLM as they call for another play, but it goes even once again. They did get the kill onto the Gwen, so a tiny victory for them, but you know, when you take into account a 1 versus 4 with ultimates used, not the best situation for them.
Yeah, and they will also lose this turret in bot line, most likely. I doubt that maybe he has the ability to do anything about it. Mid lane as well, as you say, such a big punish. And maybe breaks his nose.
No.
Yeah, you can see a bit of the nerves coming in here. Black Manta in kind of a face of potentially winning this
and
group.
Now going to get rooted up by Algren. No ultimate available. Onslaught of Shadows was face planted into a wall. Los Modoretto will teleport defensively, but another Scatter the Weak landing from Rebreathe. Linus going to catch him, and Encore going to land right on top of the Syndra. This could be their best chance to take off Rebreathe, get that shut down, but it's not going to be enough. They're just too goddamn strong. Linus knocked off his horse and taken down by Los Modoretto. Herald spawned into the mid lane. This is going to get a charge onto an inhibitor turret. And with the Kled down, there's one less frontliner. Rebreathe oddly misses out on the Scatter of the Week, but you can see the Rift Herald being pushed forward to get a charge. Basketball landing right on top of the Elrat, forcing the flash out of the Karma. Los Modoretto now playing aggressive. Denza, let's see what you can do, buddy, as the Herald is going to get the charge. Turret being brought down to low HP. Rebreathe is just going to finish off Elrat as he goes onto a killing spree. Basketball landing onto Reaper. He's going to get taken down to very low health, maybe jumping forward to see if he can defend his fallen comrade, but instead it will just be the sacrificial lamb as a sacrificial horse as the inhibitor is getting pushed down. Gucci now start taking control of this game.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Another Gucci team absolutely dominating once they group up. And yeah, beautifully played by Rebreed here. He's having such a good tournament so far. So is the rest of the Gucci squad, but Black Manta, and characteristically for them, kind of forgetting how their team comps work. They are not moving around together. They don't have their Karma and Seraphine behind their frontliners. And yeah, Gucci is just punishing that over and over again.
Yeah, punishing indeed, and you mentioned this briefly earlier, but I will have to be a little bit critical of the BLM draft here. We know these players, Elrat, Linus, as players that are so good at prep. That preparation is their strength. They know how to read a team. And you said not banning Syndra against Rebreathe is the equivalent of not banning LeBlanc against Wazza, or I shouldn't say his name, sorry. Not banning Azir against Kim Jensen, right? It's that equivalent. And so to just leave it open in such an important match for you, it's really, really bad preparation from them.
They're making another play on Los Murdereto here.
This time around, it is a face check. So, just shutdown, unfortunately, goes to Karma. That is a disaster situation. But, nonetheless, they did kill off the Gwen, so they could play for Baron here.
Yeah, they can try, but the comp here is not the one that necessarily takes Baron quickly. So, that's another weakness for this comp. Yeah, there is... Yeah, there's no percentage damage. Maybe the Leandris come from Seraphine, but also not the most heavy damage champion. No attack speed heavy AD carries as well for the BLM. So they do need to do much more to take the Baron. And yeah, the top lane focus keeps on, and we see a bot lane engage. But Rebreed, can he get out of this? Elrat, I think you don't want this. Interesting. Yeah, Elrat thinking that he's a little bit different champion. Meanwhile, in the disguise of the Iron Brushes, Gucci is taking down the Baron, which is winning all around the map so far. Oh, but maybe he has a chance to be the hero here, actually.
He will ult right in the moment. Oh, and the cold as ice veins from Yasa to hold on to the smite means that maybe doesn't quite get that. Onslaught of Shadows was used, but unfortunately for him, Gucci are going to be the ones that secure the Baron. So they tried to make a play onto Rebreathe, but instead it opened up the start of the Nasha for Gucci. So on the other side, they will secure that objective. It's now time for the Gucci members to push through the base of BLM.
Yeah, and another win for Gucci here. They're really showing off their experience and their expertise on the champions they have drafted themselves. They have not done anything silly. They're just playing the champions they know how to play, and they are playing this game very, very cleanly. And being the only undefeated team in Group 1, that they are setting themselves up. They are knocking on the doors of another group stage victory for Gucci, as but Los Murdereto is low.
Yeah, the full engage is going to come through. BLM look like they're in a decent position to win out this fight. They have the ultimates used, but a beautiful read coming up from Algren. That's the AD carry of Gucci, landing the feathers right on top. Denza flushes forward to execute too, and this fight is even. It is 3 for 3 for now. Let's see what the bot laners of both teams can do. It is a 2 versus 2 now. Algren and Jesse will try to run away. Reaper and Elrat, and actually BLM, they somehow win out on the team fight. A beautiful play coming up from Denza to finish off 2 with a single ability. And BLM, they hold on for now. Even though their base is intact, as they actually trade even in this team fight.
Yeah, and some things just did not go that well for them. And I think the Seraphine ult hit only one person. It could have gone even better for BLM. But yeah, they hold the line and they do hold on. They're not losing the game just yet here. And yeah, we know this BLM squad, if you give them the little finger, they can take the whole hand and come back in games like these. It's just 7k gold lead for Gucci, and a lot of shutdowns just went down in the most damage heavy champion in their team in the Pantheon, for the Pantheon. And yeah, quietly actually Reaper here is having himself a solid game as well. 2-0 and 4 in a game where his teammates are dying all over the place. So quite well done by the AP carry and a bot laner for Black Manta. And yeah, they keep fighting. They're not out of this.
Yeah, yeah, they keep fighting, and Gucci, they will start up this Cloud Dragon. This will be soul point for them. They secure it, and with the waves pushed in, no priority available for BLM. This will just get secured. And yeah, BLM, they seem to be holding on to dear life here, and they're doing it in a great fashion. This is what has made this roster so well known and so renowned amongst the amateur scenes. It's difficult to break them down, even when they are in the face of this this gold deficit. So it's not completely over just yet.
Yeah, not over indeed. And we saw, I have to also acknowledge, absolutely massive, what is it, Federcall by Algren. Yeah, that was huge. If that was the lethality Zaya from back in the day, I think that would have like instantly pentakilled the whole squad of BLM, but different times. And yeah, Gucci, meanwhile, keeping their heads cool, not overextending here, and kind of slowly looking to approach this game and close out. We might have a huge team fight.
Yeah, huge team fight route onto Linus from Algren. Here comes the needlework from Los Moderator. He is starting to charge forward. Ghost pop. Look at the damage already. Onslaught of Shadows is good. Encore gonna land onto Yasuo, but this Hecarim is just too goddamn weak. Los Moderator is gonna finish off that kill. Jesse now dropping forward with the quickness and the snip from Los Moderator. He's gonna bring down members of BLM down to low HP. Now Linus has come from base. Home Guards now sponsored him. His movement speed is going to go down. Root there from Rebreathe, setting up the Clad. And it looks like Denzer is in no man's land. He will channel off the recall here, so we'll be able to ride back for another defense. No jungler available. A beautiful scatter the weak is going to land onto 2. Linus knocked off his horse. Right, finish off the kill from Jesse. Feathercaller is going to finish off another as Rebreathe gets the kill credit for that. Another kill for Algren, and he's going to jump forward aggressively and confidently. That's the members of Good Chi. Once again, as you say, some things just never change, and neither does the result of Good Chi versus BLM, as we once again wipe the floor with our eyes.
Yeah, it is a rivalry, but one-sided, and Gucci again able to take down BLM in quite a similar fashion as we have used to. A great performance by Los Murderedo. Maybe ill-advised giving Rebreathe his main champion here as well. And I have to say, Algren, they're playing beautifully again.